This traumatic brain injury claim was complicated by the fact that Mr. Cardone had admitted to prior meth use, and he'd been previously diagnosed with severe depression after his son was prosecuted for murdering a local gangbanger. The lawyer who was helping Mr. Cardone asked us to come in and partner with him on the case because of our experience in handling complicated traumatic brain injury claims. This animation was designed not only to help show the severity of the head injury, but also to deal with the traumatic brain issues that always occur when there's axonal shearing and temporal lobe damage. At the time of this incident at a new home site in Napa, Robert Cardone was loading old fence posts into the bucket of the skid steer that he was operating when the defendant's employee with a large backhoe pulled an old fence post out of the hillside, failed to secure it, and it fell forward, striking Robert in the right side of his head. We needed to establish that the operator had raised the digger 2 feet above the hole at the time that this incident occurred, that the 8-foot-long fence post was considerable. There it is next to my client, Robert Cardone, who was 6 feet tall. It was in a cement base, which the weight greatly increased the force that it struck his head, and also that Robert was on a hillside so that he was at a lower elevation than the digger that had dropped it 2 feet above the ground up the hillside, also going to the amount of force with which his head was struck. You can see that the post actually went about 115 degrees before it hit Mr. Cardone in the right side of his head. The force of the impact caused Mr. Cardone's brain to fly into the left side of the skull, and that's where his big bleeds occurred. We only had 3 cell phone photos, which we used to scale the video, the animation, and it was important that we have those to establish the validity and the credibility of the animation itself. And again, you can see the post-incident photograph only appears to show that the post went about 45 degrees, but because it was raised and the incident occurred on a hillside, it hit Mr. Cardone in the head with much greater force. As we were getting ready to begin trial in the Napa courthouse in front of Judge Diane Price, the defendants agreed to settle this case for $1.8 million.